Hello, world.
Hello!
Hello!
Internet!
Welcome to Witch Finger, our second episode.
The most evil podcast
In the world.
featuring the daughters of Satan.
Satanos. On tonight's episode, we are viewing The Uninvited. Is it just the
I think it's just uninvited.
Or is
it drops the.
See, that's interesting because
I just dropped the mic. Bitches.
That's interesting because I think it is The Uninvited on Wikipedia.
Really? See, because when I was doing a little bit of research today, it was specifically saying it was just uninvited because it's not to be confused with the other The Uninviteds, one being from 1944 and then the other one, I think, 2009. Yeah. And so it is technically just uninvited.
Okay, so sorry, I was wrong. So Wikipedia, it's just called Uninvited. But either way, this movie is about a fucking cat who's like possessed, and there's a puppet that comes out of the cat's mouth, and it's on a cruise ship, and it kills people, and I think there's like thugs on the cruise ship. But it's filmed in 1988, so it's obviously going to be amazing.
Yep. A couple little facts here. Directed by a man named Graydon Clark, who has also directed such hits as The Return, which starred Sybil Shepherd. That was actually the only movie that I kind of glanced through that like I had anybody's name that I recognized. And also Satan's Cheerleaders.
I like that title.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Ever since I was a teenager in high school, I always thought that Satan's Cheerleaders would be a fun name for like an evil all-girl band or something like that.
Or a podcast.
Yeah, or a podcast. Yeah. That would be good.
Yep. But yeah, so from the plot that I read, it's actually, the cat is actually a genetically engineered cat, which is interesting because in 1988 I didn't really realize that genetics was a field that was very like prominent,
experimental and stuff.
It was pretty experimental back then. Like they didn't even have DNA testing for like crimes and stuff until the 90s. So I don't know, maybe it was just a weird theory thing, and that's why this cat is such a mutant. But yeah, so apparently it's a poisonous mutant cat. And
it's not just it's not just a mutant, it's also poisonous.
Yeah, but see, the mutant actually is inhabited, like it's living inside a regular house cat. So there is that thing that's inside of it, like that slimy beast cat is the actual mutant cat, and then it is inside of a normal cat.
I wonder if the normal cat is aware of it.
So the normal cat's just a host?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, and then it gets inside of this house cat, and then it boards the ship that's a cruise ship, and it's en route to the Cayman Islands, and apparently all the people that are on it are trying to escape, like, I don't know, some sort of like prosecution or something like that. Like, I don't know if the Cayman Islands is like Switzerland, where you have Swiss banks and...
But then they get fucked up by a demonic poison cat.
Yeah, this mutant cat is on there killing everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the puppet looks, I don't know.
I've seen pictures, and I've seen one scene in a pickup
truck.
The
mouth on it, it looks like Peaches.
Yeah, and
it looks like
your
my
cat Peaches.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a puppet, like a hand puppet. Like, you can tell that
that's amazing.
It's a hand puppet. All right, so here we go. We're going to start this, and already it's off to a great start because Amazing Movies Presents is the first thing that you fucking see
Amazing
on the screen.
Movies Presents Total Eclipse of the Heart.
So is that, the song does sound like Total Eclipse of Heart, and so does that, we are to imply that this movie is amazing already.
Yeah, starring George Kennedy. And actually, George Kennedy is an Academy Award winner, if you can believe it.
Is. He's in a lot of stuff, actually. He's also in Creepshow 2.
Awesome.
And Brain Dead, which I still haven't seen.
But he's
in Creepshow 2. He's in the scene, the story with the Native American statue.
He's the shop owner.
He's the shop owner.
He's been in a lot.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's cool.
And he was also nominated for a Golden Globe for Airport in 1979.
like the comedy?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a really long time. I remember it being very funny when I was a kid.
Yeah. Another interesting fact about that scene that just happened here. So it's really just like the credits
showing
and whatever.
X-rays?
Yeah. So the doctor is showing X-rays, and the doctor is actually Graydon Clark, who is the director.
Oh, very nice.
He makes his cameo.
Awesome.
As the Mad Doctor, I think is what I saw him being called.
That's a cute
Aww,
orange cat. It's so cute! Well, this movie has a score on IMDb of 3.9.
Ooh.
And this is awesome.
Good one.
It doesn't even have a score on Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
and one single person reviewed it on Rotten Tomatoes, and they said a hairball of a horror movie.
Hey, well played.
Oh my god, someone thinks they are hilarious. Oh my god.
I wonder.
Radiation.
The cat has a name though, right? In the movie.
You know, I'm not sure.
This guy?
Yeah.
This orange cat is our cat?
Yeah.
Why did I think I saw a black cat on...
Okay, well, I actually was going to bring that up. The original VHS artwork displayed this orange cat,
Yeah.
but the DVD cover has a black cat on it, and the cover on the Amazon DVD has like a white and brown cat. So the VHS art is like the only fucking like art that's actually correct to the color of the cat. But apparently, I just on my online research today, there is at the very end of the movie, the cat is all of a sudden like a different color. So there's all sorts of mistakes already happening in this.
Continuity in this movie is not.
There
very
are
good.
other, I did see other cover art for it online where it was the creature.
look at its mouth. It's like the puppet.
Oh, the puppet's coming out of the cat's mouth.
Oh my god. Okay, so the evil
puppet
host.
cat thing just ate the guy with the space suit.
Yeah. The evil host.
It kind of like, actually on some of the art covers that I've seen online where it's the demonic thing inside the cat, it kind of looks like a critter.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or like,
Yeah.
if you look at it for a split second, it kind of looks like a gremlin.
Yeah, for sure. Some sort of horrid, hairless, slimy creature. I wonder what it's like to like work with a cat actor.
Probably very hard because I don't think you could train a cat as easily as a dog.
No, and
Cats
yeah,
just do whatever the
they're
fuck they
very
want.
hard. But like, I can't imagine that the budget of this movie was big enough to actually like hire like a well-trained cat. Like,
Yeah.
it probably
Well-
just like did you find any information
Well,
about
I
that?
was actually just gonna bring up there is that one time we went to go see that cat band.
Oh my god!
They were trained.
The cat circus
They were,
was amazing.
Yeah, there was like an actual like cat band.
Yeah, we went to a cat circus.
What are they called again?
They are the acro cats.
The acro cats.
And the acro cats play
There was one that
instruments.
played drums. There
Yeah.
was one that like played guitar.
It was amazing, and they actually made noises.
What do you mean?
Like, they sat on the drums and hit the drums.
They're instruments. Did they have...
Yes.
But they don't have thumbs.
Well,
They would
no.
hit like a pad, and the
Okay.
pad was attached
It'd, like,
to a
amplify.
drumstick, and the drumstick would hit the snare.
Yeah.
It was
So they
the
were-
cutest fucking
it was
thing of
amazing.
life.
Oh, is this a cat's point of view?
I think so.
It's a tall fucking cat.
Demonic cat's point of view. Well, see, that's an interesting feature, apparently, of this movie. We haven't got that far into it yet, but from what I understand, the continuity of the actual size of the cat is pretty bizarre. Like, 1 second it will be like huge, and then the next second it will just be a regular cat again.
So this guy's the director
Yeah.
in the lab coat in the parking garage.
Yes.
And he just shot a woman because he was aiming for a cat and obviously
Wow.
didn't hit the cat, so he shot the police woman.
Yeah, stick to your day job, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, don't, because you obviously fucked up this genetic experiment as well.
All scientists carry guns,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. In America.
I'm so excited now that I'm reading more about this. The boat scene in the Storm at Sea sequence is very clearly a toy
toy
model.
boat. Yes.
Actually, in my online research, I was reading of a bunch of reviews on this movie, and most of them said that the cat was the best actor in the movie.
Oh, it does not surprise me at all.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of broads, and they're obviously going on a cruise ship soon because they're wearing bikinis
Jesus.
with torn up shirts.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Tattered
filming
ass
at night,
shirt.
though. Why would you be boarding a cruise ship at night?
Wearing a bikini.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it looks... it's
That's
a-
what you do in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
just like normal mall wear. Just like a sliced up shirt.
Yeah, crimped hair. I
Oh.
love what she has done with her shirt here.
Oh my.
It's like still a common style now. Like that's what girls do with their shirts.
Yeah,
they like
cut
them up like
yeah.
that.
Oh, obviously the cat has been appeased by getting treats. It was just licking its lips there.
I want some man flesh. Wow, well that's a pretty awesome
We have
top
the
hat
keyboard
we got
player
here.
from Dimmu Borgir, the first lineup,
And Gary Oldman and Dracula in this movie.
opening up the door for the Rolls Royce that just pulled up. Okay, and this fellow here, also an actor that is well known. His name is Klug Gulager. He was the only other person that's like a name.
Oh, and he's in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, he's in Return of the Living Dead. He was in Feast. And Puppet Master 5.
Oh my god. How many Puppet Master movies do there need to be?
I don't know. There's too many.
I think they're making another one, actually.
Yeah.
I heard that they did a Kickstarter for it or something like that.
I don't know, man. I saw the first one.
I don't even remember.
I was gonna say the first
them.
one. The first one was interesting.
The first one is probably the only good one.
Why?
I remember, like, I bought the Puppet Master box set, the Full Moon box set, and I tried it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish the whole thing. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Well, I looked up other notable movies that have possessed or demonic or killer cats, and obviously
Cat people?
Cat People. I've actually never seen Cat People. I've heard really good things about the soundtrack that Giorgio
Sleepers or
Moroder.
Sleepwalkers?
So I fucking love Sleepwalkers.
That movie is...
That I love it. It's so 90s. I love any Stephen King film adaptation. And I remember watching that movie in high school.
Very erotic.
Yeah, man. It is.
So erotic.
There is some
kinda creepy.
sexual tension going on between them two.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
And Majken Amick is the main girl in it, the girl from Twin Peaks who plays Shelley. She's gorgeous. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Sleepwalkers. Obviously, the most notable one is Pet Sematary, Church, the cat from Pet Sematary. And I looked up another movie called Strays, and it was like a TV movie from 1991. And just the picture alone makes me want to watch it.
Oh
like
my
it looks
God.
even more fucked up than this movie.
It's evil cats?
Yeah. Well, it's like this family. They move into this house, and the house is like overruled by evil cats. So they like try to kill them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that sounds amazing. Well, obviously the most popular horror movie involving a cat would be The Black Cat. There's 4 versions of it. There's one from the 30s. There's one from the 40s, and then they remade it in the 60s, and then they remade it in the 80s.
Holy shit.
But I've heard that the original one is actually really scary. So I'd like to
Really?
watch the one from 1934. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've always heard great things about it. That like it creeped the fuck out of people.
Really?
Back then, like people had to like walk out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And I've never seen Two Evil Eyes, but I've always wanted to because it's directed by both Dario Argento and
nice.
George A. Romero. I've
What do
always
you mean?
seen
What do you mean? Separately or together?
together.
Shut up.
Yeah, I
be
know.
really great.
I've never seen
I've
it.
never
I've
seen
always seen the DVD like on the shelves,
What's it
and
called?
it's like Two Evil Eyes. And the cover of the movie has like an old man, and the old man has the evil eyes. But there is a cat involved in it, and I've always wanted to watch it because 2 awesome directors working together. But I've never seen it, so that's one of my. It's on my list of movies that I need to watch. Yeah.
Two Evil Eyes. Harvey Keitel is in that one.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
For swimming in the raw.
Mr. White.
Not the nude, in the raw.
Yeah, who the fuck says
Like-
that?
That is some fucked up shit.
Raw, like I think of meat.
Yeah, I think of like boning down.
Yeah, let's take our skin off and go skinny dipping, skinny-less dipping. It's called raw swimming.
Yeah, raw.
Just like Uncle Frank.
Come to daddy.
That's so creepy.
I know.
Oh,
Some Tom Selleck shit going on right here. Look at this guy.
is that Donald Trump?
Look at
Donald
this
Trump
guy.
is in The Uninvited.
Yeah, he plays the cat. Actually, no, he plays the wig.
Yeah, he's the wig.
Apparently, the guy, one of the yuppie types, the guy with the pink pants, I think, or the pink shorts there. I think he's in Melrose Place and 90210.
Yeah, I did hear that there is an actor from this movie who's
Yeah.
in Melrose
I
Place.
think that's him.
I never watched Melrose Place. I
No, me
was a
neither.
90210 watcher. So are they on the cruise ship yet, or is this just the yacht that's taking them to the cruise ship?
Well, I think probably budgetary constraints didn't allow them to actually
Have like
get
a
an
full
actual cruise ship, so they probably just like rented a yacht, and
Yeah.
then they're like, "This is the cruise ship."
And there's only about like 5 or 6 people on it.
Yeah.
What kind of responsible adult brings a cat onto a boat with not having any cat food?
No, I know.
Like, no
Ridiculous.
litter box.
The captain would not allow that. What kind of a captain is this fucking fake mustachio? Fuck.
And the captain's like, 2 girls, 8 guys. This is not working
Yeah.
out.
Those girls are gonna get date raped.
I can't imagine like winning an Oscar and then being in this movie.
I'm sure Oscar winners have their history of like being in terrible movies.
Yeah,
in
well,
their
I guess
past.
you have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
I suppose if you have a sense of humor, then...
This guy's like the preppy guy.
Yeah, his
got a popped
his pop-
collar.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
his popped collar is actually offensive to me.
Oh no!
Look at him dancing!
I love
he's like-
80s dancing.
oh
It
my
is the
God.
greatest thing
Yeah, but, like-
ever. There's something about fucking every movie that was made in the 80s where there's a dance scene that is just the greatest thing to me. It is so fucking amazing. Like every movie, like Terminator, when she's in the club, Fright Night,
I was gonna say,
when
we
they're in the
don't
club
Fright
at Fright
Night.
Night.
I love
all
that
the
club scene.
You just have to watch the extras.
His sweater.
Watch all the extras dancing, and yes, his sweater is
I'm
incredible.
obsessed with his sweater. I don't know
know.
why.
There's so much more that
Welcome
dancing
to
than
Fright
his sweater.
Night, for real.
I don't know.
I recently
It's just
watched
amazing.
Fright Night 2, the sequel,
Oh,
and it
I
has
haven't
the
seen
same
that.
guy. It had I thought it was actually hilarious because the main
hilarious, yeah.
yeah, like the one from the 80s, not the new one.
Oh,
no,
yes,
no.
okay.
Like there was a sequel to the
Yeah,
original one
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And it has the same main guy. Yeah, and it has fucking the guy who has the show. The
Yeah.
old guy.
Yeah.
Old guy, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Vincent, whatever. I can't remember. But yeah, the girl from, do you guys remember that movie, My Boyfriend's Back?
Vaguely.
I had that movie on VHS. Well, that girl is also in Fright Night 2, but yeah, that is probably one of the better sequels. But the woman from In the Mouth of Madness is like the head vampire in the sequel, and she is the main vampire's sister from the first movie, so she's back for vengeance.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like the woman
interesting.
from In the Mouth of Madness.
Well, I hope she's
that
better
walks
because I
all
hated
backwards.
her character in the. I mean, I loved her character in the Mouth of Madness. I hated her acting in the Mouth of Madness. I thought it was awful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I like the part where she gets out of the car and she walks all backwards, like Reagan, the added scene from The Exorcist
that-
with Reagan,
yeah, that's cool.
and her head is all backwards.
I
That
think
part is fucking
the
cool.
scene that I always think about is when she's like crying, like she's got like the tears when she meets the author of the book.
And she looks very apathetic.
And it's just, she just does a bad job. But you know what? That's the 80s. So what are you going to do? Or 90s. Early 90s, I think.
Other horror movies that take place on a cruise ship, the one that came up the most was Ghost Ship.
Boo!
But that opening scene was
with the
great.
things that cuts their heads off?
Uh,
the wire?
all the people who were
I remember
on,
that. Oh my god.
Yeah, that movie sucked, but the fucking opening scene
cool.
There was a
was
good
one of the
scene, yeah.
greatest fucking
Yeah,
kill
that was
scenes
cool.
in horror movies. Like basically that wire just fucking
Yeah.
cuts everybody in
remember
half.
that.
part
Oh
was
my God, I
fucking
haven't thought about
amazing.
that movie in
I know.
so long.
That movie, like
But I
even
do
like
remember it being run.
everybody always comes back to that one opening scene. Like that's a fucking great. Like the rest of the movie is like whatever, but that opening scene was
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Another one that I looked up that takes place on a cruise ship is Deep Rising, and I had never heard of it, but it's got man-eating like tentacle sea creatures.
Oh, that's
So, and I looked up the image of it, and they do look really fucking cool. So that's one that I might like. It kind of reminded me of Leviathan.
yeah.
So another movie is Death Ship, and that movie also stars
I was
George
gonna say,
Kennedy.
yeah, he's in
so
Death
it
Ship,
also he plays the captain of the ship in that movie, and I would just like to read the plot of this movie, and I think we should watch it.
Absolutely.
Survivors of a tragic shipping collision are rescued by a mysterious black ship which appears out of the fog. Little do they realize that the ship is actually a Nazi torture ship which has sailed the seas for years, luring unsuspecting sailors abroad and killing them off one by one. So,
Wow.
my question is, if it's a Nazi ship, are they're going for anyone who isn't like German? What if there was a German person on the ship? They'd be
Yeah.
like, "You're cool. We're not gonna kill
Why
you."
do I have a, what year is it?
1980.
1980.
Yeah.
Why do I have a feeling the entire cast is going to be white people? Even though Nazis were okay with white people, I just have a feeling it's because it's the 80s. It's just going to be a cast full of white people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
probably.
going to make any sense.
I'd like to see what a Nazi torture ship looks like.
I mean, I can
And are they
imagine
Nazis
it.
back from the
And, like,
dead,
does
or are
it
they
have-
neo-Nazis?
No,
I
like
need
that's
to
what
know.
it just says a Nazi torture
Does
ship. It doesn't
take
say anything
place
about
in the
actual
40s
Nazis.
or like. Well,
No,
it says it's been sailing for years, so maybe it's just like
from.
yeah, like
So they're all
from
old
that
now?
era. Yeah, totally.
But like,
All
does it
war
actually
veterans.
contain like ghosts of Nazis, or is
Yeah.
it just the actual ship fucking wants to murder people?
Oh, the ship.
Like the ship is like, I'm a ship. I'm gonna fucking kill
Yeah,
you.
I'm a ship.
Or is it like some American History X shit where it's filled with like skinheads?
Yeah.
Fucking killing people.
Yeah, I don't
need to
know. And now we have to watch it.
Yeah, a murderous ship itself would be actually probably one of the
I know.
stupidest concepts.
It would be awesome.
I don't know, man. There's some
That's
pretty
all the-
stupid concepts out there. Sharknado.
Oh, I know. And you know what? We
Shark
are here
Avalanche.
to watch and
I
review
saw
all of
that.
them.
I watched it. It was so
watched
good.
Shark Avalanche, and it was
By good, I mean
Shark
my thumb
Avalanche.
is
terrible,
My
but
thumb is
fucking
down,
ridiculously
but amazing.
funny.
So again, we need to comment on the fact that in the synopsis of the movie, they talked about a cruise ship. We have
Yeah.
yet to see this cruise ship unless it is an 8-man only cruise ship.
I think
The
it
stock
is.
footage, though, they had the stock footage
Yeah.
of the cruise ship in there.
So the cruise ship is populated by 9 people tops. I
Yeah.
mean, there are tops 9 people on this cruise ship. When I was just reading on IMDb, they were saying that footage was the toy ship.
Oh yeah, and I heard
So
that
that's
like,
not a cruise ship from far away. That's a toy ship.
and it's like a
from
toy ship
far
like in a
away.
fucking bathtub.
Wow.
Hey man, you got to do with what you got, right? Like whatever
Yeah.
their budget was, that's all they could afford.
It was like that one. There was like a gift that I remember seeing that I think you may have sent to me that was from like a Nigerian movie that was like a toy helicopter coming down.
Oh my god, yes.
And
Yeah,
like
that was
those
amazing.
guys were like, it was a movie, like they had guns and they were like running around or whatever. But then the helicopter scene was like a toy helicopter that was like
Yeah.
sitting there with like
Or you could just do
the
it like
propeller
Turkish movies, like
Turkish
Turkish
Star
Star Wars, where
Wars.
you just steal the scenes from the actual
No.
movie.
yeah. Have
And
you ever
it's-
seen Turkish
You've
Star
never
Wars?
seen like a Turkish movie?
No.
Okay, we're gonna
Oh.
watch one after this. It's not like a whole movie, but like there's scenes.
Yeah, Turkish
on
Star
YouTube.
Wars. It's like
the Turkish ET.
oh my god. Like
the
basically,
Turkish ET is
they
like the
take
greatest thing ever.
the scripts of popular Hollywood movies and then they just sort of like make their own versions.
Okay.
Um,
Now that's isn't that not
hilarious
copywriting? Isn't that?
results.
Yeah, but they're in Turkey. What do they care?
yeah.
Now,
And
why
they're
wouldn't they
still
just put
sexy
Turkish
thrusting.
subtitles on the original movie?
Well, I don't know. I think that they
Or
wanna
dub
do
it.
it
Because they
for-
released it,
overdub
I
it
guess,
in-
probably, and
in
made money
Turkish.
off
Well,
of
but
it.
I don't think that Turkish Star Wars. It's called Turkish Star Wars, but I remember when we watched it. I don't think it's actually Star Wars. It's like I don't think it's the exact same script. And
No,
if it
no,
is,
they like made up their own
yeah,
story,
because
and then
like I
still
remember there
stole.
being a lot of weird stuff happening.
And they
in
used
it.
all like the scenes in
Yeah,
space,
all the
obviously.
space scenes and all the fight scenes.
all the scenes that they couldn't afford to do.
Okay, that just looks like stock footage. That's not a toy. However, apparently, not to spoil the movie, but the scene at the end apparently is definitely a toy.
I can't wait to see it.
There's you can see the wire that pulls it down. Look at this sexual predator.
Yeah, I mean, he has a mustache.
Yeah, he's got a diddler stash and he's creeping over the edge there, watching these two girls in the hot tub. Oh, and now oh wow, the cat has somehow turned into a werecat.
And it's biting George Kennedy's ankle. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
He's like
no, that's
ripping
good.
his
That's some
ankle
good
off.
gore.
It looked like the Nothing from the Neverending Story.
That looks cool.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
blood
really
coming out
nice,
of
yeah.
the ankle. That's the best special effects we've seen
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, I always enjoy effects
Blood.
like that where you know, like they have like the pulsating of the
Yeah,
artery and that sort
yeah.
of thing. Like pretty realistic. It looks good.
Well, that's like in American Werewolf in London
Oh, I
when
love
his
that movie.
his neck is shredded and the blood that's coming out like between the cracks. Like that is amazing.
I love that movie.
So we saw The Witch this week.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah, so
Our coven went inside.
yeah, it was a bunch of witches going to see The Witch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that movie. I think that I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror movie.
I can agree with that. I would
I-
say more suspense.
It was more suspense, thriller / drama to me. Like,
I guess the only thing I would say about that is if I never saw any previews and someone said to me, go see this thriller suspense, and I watched it, I'd almost be like,
It's kind of terrifying.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
like it's
it
kind of
is.
eerie. It's eerie for a thriller, quote unquote.
Well, I guess
It's
it
still
just
eerie.
depends on what you classify a horror movie as. Like, to me, I think that things that, like gore.
The subject matter of which
Yeah.
to me makes it a horror movie.
I
Subject
could
matter
see
alone.
that. But
Alone.
to me, there wasn't enough like gore or like kind of terrifying moments. It was more an uncomfortable feeling throughout. Like, it just was very dark and
although, if we're
uncomfortable.
talking about gore, how much gore is in It Follows? Next to none, essentially.
Yeah.
No one dies in It Follows besides the one chick at the beginning.
That's true.
And the mum. Or the guy who's killed by his mum. Other than that, no one else dies in the film.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. Like, I mean, it's a horror movie, but is it? It's more like
It's like a psychological.
supernatural.
Psychological, yes.
It's definitely more
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
psychological horror than
The family- oh, you
than
wanna
like
do
a
it anyway.
slasher
Never mind.
or like a creature feature.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was in the 17th century made it feel like more of like a historic depiction. But all the scenes with the witch were incredible, and I love how Black Phillip has become this like icon on the internet right now. Like there was like this actually an article on Bloody Disgusting today about how famous that fucking goat is on the internet right now. Like, there's so many fucking artists have drawn and painted him. There's like t-shirts,
Merch
there's
and
like
stuff.
a
He was
pin,
great, yeah.
that London 1888 pin that I tagged you guys on Instagram.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I want that pin really,
Yeah.
really badly. They got like the upside down cross on the forehead. I really, really enjoyed that movie. It was,
Yeah, it was really
I
well
think
done.
the ending was awesome.
I loved it.
perfect
I loved
ending.
how
Yeah.
I loved. I don't know. Like, I've been actually thinking about that last.
I think I want to
scene.
go see it again.
I do.
Yeah, I've been
I
thinking
do.
about that last scene
Really
a
bad.
lot actually in the days since we watched it. Like, when she's talking to the goat, but you never actually see it, and then it becomes like a man. And
I like
then
how
it
you
walks
don't see the
behind her as a
man's face.
shadow.
That's my
It's
favorite.
amazing, and he's like, "Would you like the taste of butter? A pretty dress." Like, oh, I
And then
love it.
I
It's
like
so
how he
evil.
just has the book
Yeah.
in front of him.
And he's like, "Would you like to live
so she makes a
deliciously?"
deal with him, obviously.
and
but
it's done.
And then it was filmed so beautifully when it's super, super dark and you just see her naked, pale body walking
Silhouette
into
walking,
the woods.
yeah, and
he's behind
Algonquin
her?
Park nonetheless.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about the whole movie, I love turmoil. I love family turmoil. And my favorite part was how the whole family turned on her. I thought that
Yeah.
was great. And
Yeah.
she literally did nothing. And at the end, she's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
and
The dad
'cause
was
she was
amazing.
like Satan
The
pretty much
dad was
accepted her.
amazing.
Yeah, the dad was really good. The mom,
Yeah.
obviously from Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
like, she's
Always got
incredible.
Those kids.
child on her tit though. What
She's
the
always
hell?
got her tits out.
But,
Yeah.
you know, I really can't think of one actor or actress in that film who wasn't spot on.
I
Oh,
think
agreed.
the boy nailed it. He was so fucking good. How old is that kid? Like fucking 8 or
9,
9
10
or
maybe.
something?
Yeah.
That little boy when he barfed up the apple
Oh,
and
that
after
scene when
that's-
he was
I was
possessed,
like
it was
I was more
Unbelievable.
enthralled by his acting ability than what was actually
Yeah.
going on.
when he was
but
like crying out to like
to Lord
Jesus
Jesus,
or whatever
you know,
at the
like
end.
to take
Oh my
him into
God,
the gates.
yeah.
That was so good. Like that
Yeah.
kid, you know what? You were great. You were really, really good. But you know what? I think I love everything about the movie. But one of my favorite things about the movie was the way that it opened. How it was just completely black. No sound or music, and then everything slowly started happening with the music
Yeah.
and the forest. I loved it. I love when it's just a black screen. You don't know what's going to happen. It piques your interest. You don't,
Well,
like I thought it was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
It certainly set the tone for the entire movie, I think. I felt like it was supposed to be thought-provoking and uncomfortable, and they left a lot of space, like blank space, for you to actually think about what's happening.
Well,
and that
and
sort of
I
thing.
like when horror movies do that because, I mean, we love horror movies that show everything that's happening, like gore and people getting brutally murdered because it's entertaining, but movies that leave it up to your imagination, like, I still praise Blair Witch Project. I still fucking love the fact that you don't see the witch, and even just at the very end where she goes into the basement and the guy who's
corner.
just facing the corner, terrifying.
Yeah.
But when you when you talk about it, it's like, what's scary about a guy in a fucking corner standing there doing nothing? But you imagine yourself in that situation, and like they nailed it. They nailed that scene, and it's like I remember going home like imagining in my mind like what she looked like and how they described her in the
All
movie.
hair?
All hair and a giant cape and stuff. I couldn't fucking sleep. Like
Yeah.
I love that when it leaves it to your imagination.
For sure. Well, I mean, like, a lot of, like, you know, horror movies, like, especially, like, the gore and slasher type movies, like, it's all about, like, that instant gratification. It's
Yeah.
supposed to keep you on your toes, and you're supposed to be, you know, excited and kind of scared, and you're supposed to build that anxiety, but, I feel like with The Witch, it was more of an unnerving kind of anxiety.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a lot of, maybe it was just like the people that we were sort of with in the theater, but there was certainly a lot of uncomfortable like silences. Like you could feel when it was quiet, like that people were kind of like
Okay,
they didn't know what to do.
I have to say the only reason I found that uncomfortable is not because of us. I genuinely
I felt like it was
enjoyed the
everyone
silence.
else, yeah.
I enjoyed the silent parts of the movies because it gave you time to like be like, oh shit, this is some real shit. They're out in the woods with no civilization, no one around
Yeah.
them. Like, it's quiet as fuck out there and scary.
By the way, what a
The only reason I
horrible,
felt
horrible
uncomfortable
time to be
is
alive.
because there was
Oh, I
people
know.
behind us being like, this sucks, and popcorn.
Like
and,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. This movie's uninteresting. Of course it's uninteresting. You're used to fucking, you just went to go see, let's not kid ourselves. Those people went to go see Paranormal Activity 18 or whatever the fuck is
Yeah.
out right now, you know? So
they want
this,
explosions.
like,
they don't
do.
want
Yeah.
a thought-provoking.
And I
Satanism
think I
witchcraft.
used to think that horror movies, which didn't show a lot of gore and stuff, were just cheap. I've definitely changed my.
Oh, absolutely.
Perspective, yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily have to be gory. Like, there's a lot of movies that, like, I mean, they do have, like, gore in them, but are still, like, brings about a lot of questions, like Martyrs, for instance. Like, there are some gory
Oh, there's some gore.
aspects to that, of course, but that's just sort of part of the storyline, like, the underlying entire idea of that movie is just so, like, mind-blowing and
And
uncomfortable.
also,
It's like, holy shit.
like even movies like more kind of in the sci-fi genre, but Cube is one of those, and Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Yeah, that movie.
That movie seriously fucked with my mind, and it's just a lot of people just don't have the attention span for slow moving movies. And Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Holy fuck. You need to watch that movie. It was so amazing, and it was slow going, but when it's slow and you're intrigued and you're interested and you get wrapped up in it, those are the kind of movies that really like pique your emotions. Like The Witch did that to us. So while you're watching it, you know, like you try to imagine what is happening, even though you're confused. Like, we're not angry that we're confused. Like, people, like young teenagers are gonna go see The Witch and gonna be like, I don't get it, because they're used to watching shit on
Yeah,
TV,
and people
like
hate
The
what
Bachelor.
they don't understand, especially when they're young and,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the other thing, too, that I really liked about it is within the first half an hour, you see the witch.
Yeah.
So you're not like, is the girl the witch? Like, ooh, is it gonna be a twist M. Night Shyamalan bullshit ending where it turns out that the witch was her the whole time?
It's like, we
No,
knew that there
you
was
see
a
the fucking
witch.
witch. The
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
that kid goes missing, you see it being carried off into the woods, and then she kills it, and it's
there's-
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that they sacrificed a baby.
And then she-
Within, like, the first, like, 15 minutes of the
I
movie.
know.
Herself and her fucking staff,
In, like,
which we can only assume was her
This
witch's
child's
broom.
dick blood and just
Yeah,
fucking
I know.
smears it all over.
It was
was
actually
amazing.
blood and fat.
Oh.
It was, and yeah, she's in the pumice. She's
Yeah,
like, oh,
I know.
I
It was-
love that you saw the witch, and she had that super long hair and that really almost like drawn body where it's like bulbousy, and she was kind of like naked, but like not thin and hot or anything. She was like a witch.
She was, like,
She was a
imperfect.
fucking witch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
no,
amazing.
it was amazing. I definitely.
Oh, I want to see it again.
Yeah, man, it's definitely recommended. Like, if you have not seen it yet,
Now you don't need to.
go
we just
see
told you.
it.
Yeah.
Or just skip, just skip
Yeah.
over that part.
If you haven't seen it by now, fuck, you're living under a rock, brother.
It was amazing, though.
Can I just say that I really like the part, because there were so many parts where the dad was topless chopping wood.
He was fucking stacked.
Do you want to know what I actually thought was an interesting,
Be still my heart.
I don't know, imagery maybe? After he had fallen down into the mud and the daughter had gone to like wash his clothes, he was wearing like a cloth or something around his when he was chopping the first time.
Yeah.
Very, very reminiscent of like the image of Christ, like wearing the white robe like around just
and
here,
the long hair and
the long hair and the
beard.
beard and just kind of chopping away or whatever. To me, I saw that and I was like,
and he
I
was
understand
very
what they're getting at, like the imagery of
and
of
he was
Christ,
like very like
very
forgiving
subtle.
as well, as
And he was
opposed to the
super
wife,
religious.
where the wife was out to just attack and accuse the daughter.
Except for fuck him, because he let her accuse her.
Yeah.
Because he stole the fucking
But I think it's
glass.
because he probably felt guilty because she's got fucking kids dying on her.
All I'm saying is he let his daughter take the fall for a lot of his fuck ups, and that really
Yeah, that's true.
pissed
Yeah.
me off.
But at that
But I liked that
at that
about him.
time,
Mm-hmm.
like if you were like weird or acted differently, yeah, you were a witch and then they burned you.
Oh, yeah.
I genuinely thought when she brought up that point when she was like, well, what about Mercy and whatever his name was? They've been talking to Black Phillip all the time. I was like, they're the witches! Like, I honestly was like,
You thought the twins were
like
the
not, because I knew there was a witch.
Yeah.
But when she brought that up, I was like, they do talk to him a lot.
witch. Yeah.
And they were accusing her. Maybe they are, and then they weren't. But it was just like that movie keeps you guessing, and that's what I liked about it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I had one question that I don't know if I just wasn't paying enough attention
happened
or
to them?
yeah, what happened to them? Where'd they go?
I'm
they
assuming
they got killed in
eaten.
the barn.
Because you don't see them getting killed, but they
They were dead. It was implied that they were dead in the barn. I read, like, the next day, I read the Wikipedia page.
Right.
So the twins died.
Because
in
you
the
see the
barn.
bodies of the other goats.
Of the goats. Yeah.
I
But you don't see
assumed that
their
the
bodies.
witch took them and did the same thing in her little hut.
Right,
with them.
okay.
They
Yeah.
were young, right? So
Yeah.
I just assumed that. Yeah. Which would have been
Yeah.
so awesome to see. But
Yeah, I
whatever.
know. I kind of wish that we saw the knife going into the baby.
I'm kind of glad though. I like that they didn't, because you know how if they had done that, it would have brought them
People
up-
would have fucking
It would have
lost
brought it up to
too.
Serbian film. It would have been like there's baby murder, like you know what
Yeah.
I mean. And they kept it really classy. That whole film was classy. When you saw the brother looking at her tits in a few scenes, I thought it was gonna get really incestual, and it didn't.
I totally thought
Yeah.
that too.
Which I loved. It was classy
Yeah.
through and through. It was a classy movie.
Yeah, it
Very
was
subtle.
awesome.
There was no. I was always like on the edge of my seat, like, are the mom and dad gonna have sex and the kids are gonna hear it?
Yeah.
Like, there's all these questions that arise when you
Yeah.
live just with your family, as far
For
as
sure.
incest and sexuality
Yeah.
and stuff, right?
And the part where she was hallucinating and she sees her dead son.
Oh my
and
god, the
her-
crow.
The crow that was pecking.
Wow,
Best
Best
scene
that
ever.
was
so fucking awesome.
fucking amazing.
I said to Yasmina after, I said
like,
the
laughing.
cinematography, like that shot was brilliant when it was just the crow, because there were like red drapes in the back, and it was like candlelit with the black crow sitting on the wooden chair.
Yeah.
Like,
It was totally
pecking at her
Game of
tit.
Thrones.
Yeah.
So,
It was
like, it made
beautiful.
me,
Yeah.
It was
It
a
was a-
beautiful scene.
like, I feel like they definitely, like, were like, okay, we're gonna take a little bit from Game of Thrones, because that actress is from Game of Thrones, and there's a scene where she has, like, her kid is, like, sucking the milk out of her tit, and there's a lot of crows in Game of Thrones as well, so. The Witch got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay,
Hand hurts,
so
so he's jumping overboard.
the mutant cat just bit his 2 fingers off, but in the scene where he's looking at his hand, he just bends those fingers back. Or forward, I guess.
Yeah, we are digressing from talking about the witch so far down the totem pole that here we are at Uninvited.
They both go over.
And they're both overboard.
Sharks, and then a shark eats them.
And that's my nightmare.
Because his fingers are missing, he's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can smell
yeah.
blood. It's gonna get all deep blue sea up in here.
Oh god.
Don't! What are you
Ah!
gonna do?
Everyone's jumping in the ocean. Shark's gonna kill you.
Man overboard. They could have at least like taken their shirts off before they did it or something.
You know what I found
Give
out
this
today?
movie a thrill.
The line from Jaws, "We're gonna need a bigger
Bigger boat?
boat," was actually not in the
It's
script.
improv, yeah.
And Roy Schneider improv'd it. I had no idea.
Yes.
Well, something else I was reading about online, The Mist is becoming
Yeah.
a TV show.
Oh.
Have you seen The Mist? It's a Stephen King
Yes, I have.
story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually it's a short story, and
A short story,
I
yeah.
was actually gonna comment.
They're
when we were
all in
talking
like
about the
a
witch.
grocery store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to comment we were
That's-
talking about The Witch because it reminded me of The Witch in the sense that The Witch, the movie, is not about the witch. It's about the family.
Yeah.
The Mist, the movie, is not about the creatures in the mist.
It's
about the drama.
how the people
and what they believe in their religion and all that. So
yeah, because there's that one
I found
crazy
a lot
religious
of-
person.
Yes.
There's the one
who
angry
influences
person.
everybody
It is
else.
about
And
the
then they
people.
sacrifice the soldier from the army.
Yeah.
They kill him even though he didn't need to be killed. And I found it very reminiscent, or The Witch very reminiscent of The Mist.
Yeah.
In that sense.
And there's that other Stephen King short story TV show that's coming out on like Hulu with James Franco
Yeah.
where he goes into the past.
11/22/63.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, have you
looks
read it? Have you read
amazing.
the story?
Oh, I have it. It's a huge novel. It's like this big.
Yeah, that looks really good too.
It's really good, except for it's very political. It's not scary. Like it's like The Green Mile. Like it's not
Oh, okay.
scary. It's just really sad and political and
I'm sure it'll be good though.
so good. James Franco and Stephen King. Hello,
It
dream
looks,
team.
Yeah, it looks
Dream
amazing.
team.
Yeah, and I also read, I can't remember what company owns the Halloween franchise, but they sold it or something, and they're thinking about turning Halloween into a fucking TV show.
Really?
Hey,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. Fuck off.
But I find that TV now is the new format of movies.
Well,
like,
because TV
there
isn't
is
actually
so-
TV. It's not broadcast.
No,
for-
I know.
for
Yeah,
idiots.
like whenever when
TV
shows
is like Netflix or
yeah, like
Show Me or
shows like
Hulu.
Breaking Bad and Mad Men started coming out,
no,
and
but-
they're better than movies.
Yasmina,
almost.
here's the thing, and I agree with you 100%. Breaking Bad and Mad Men and all these shows were brilliant, but they were written to be shows.
Yeah, that's
Under
true.
the Dome, one of my favorite Stephen King books of all time. The show, brutal.
I never watched
Nothing
it.
like the book. Got really got canceled. The show was fucking canceled. It was so bad.
Yeah.
One of the best novels I've ever read. Like, if you're gonna write a show,
You better have good
make
screenwriters.
it a fucking show and
Yeah.
make it great. But
Well-
like, don't take one of my favorite goddamn books, try to make it into a show, and then butcher it.
I don't know how
Or
they
just make
would,
it into
how,
a
how would
movie.
they turn
Yeah,
it
make it into
into a television show? Though?
Well, it's just they're
Would
talking
it be like
about
the
it.
original idea, which was supposed to be that like Halloween, like well, I mean, with like Halloween 3, for instance, which has nothing to do with everything else. It was supposed to
Yeah.
be a
Still
different
good.
Halloween story. I love Halloween 3. I don't give a shit.
Oh, dude,
Anyways,
Halloween
I-
3 is fucking hilarious.
Halloween,
Halloween, Halloween,
Halloween, silver
Shamrock. I think that, I don't know, like, because they're just talking about it right now, just because, like, series are popular right now, but I'm assuming it would probably go into the history of Michael Myers and, like, why he's so deranged,
Which would be interesting,
which
actually.
would be interesting.
Be-
but,
it'd be like Bates.
I was just gonna say that Bates Motel. That I thought that show was great, and the only thing I didn't like about that show was the story with the brother and his weed empire. Like, who fucking gives a fuck? Like, we're here to know the story of Norman Bates
crazy
and Norman
taxi
and Norma
service.
Bates. We don't give a fuck about weed in this show. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care about that. But Hannibal was amazing. So you never know. I think it could have the potential, just like anything that was, you know, a good writer, to be good. But we'll see. Like, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But so that's a toy ship.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there it
So it's definitely a toy ship
Yeah.
in a bathtub.
is. Yeah.
They couldn't afford more stock footage, I'm assuming, because you probably have to
No.
pay for it every time it appears, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Interestingly enough, I think that the footage of the ship that was going by that they continued to use, it looked like it was just somebody's shitty, like, vacation, like, footage. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel bad for the cat in this, though, just like any animal in a horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a hungry mutant. It's not his fault that he was born that
He's just a
way.
hungry mutant.
It's the director's
He's a
fault.
mutant! Oh, wait, here we go.
The toy ship's going
the
down in the
toy is going
bathtub.
down.
This is the scene.
Yeah, and we have to look for the wire in the sinking ship scene. Apparently you can see it. Oh my god!
God,
Whoa!
guys,
That
come
doesn't even
on.
look like a cat anymore. That's ridiculous.
It just looks like a fucking teddy bear at this
The rat
point.
monkey. I've been savaged.
What were you gonna say about Halloween?
Oh well, I don't know. I'm just happy that it was taken out of Rob Zombie's hands because I think those Halloween movies that he did were shit.
I think the first one is better than the second one.
Whoa.
I think the first one is
Bite your
way better than the second
tongue.
one. However, I have no personal problem with Sherry Moon
Oh, no,
Zombie,
no,
but
I
I'm
didn't say anything
sorry,
about her at all.
like stop fucking putting your
Yeah,
wife
well,
in
I
your
get
movies
it.
because
I
she
get it.
can't act.
Her roles are completely invented. Like the role of the mother in the Halloween,
Yeah.
and how much her role, like it was invented. It wasn't in the original.
She's got to get paid somehow.
She's
I guess.
brutal. She's not a convincing mother role,
I know.
in my opinion. She doesn't play a good mom. I'm sorry,
no.
but she doesn't.
Maybe that's why Michael Myers was
No,
so funked
but
up.
we need to talk about the first one because the second one's garbage.
The second
I
one
The second
give you
one
that.
was so rotten
The first
that
one?
I left the theater. I was like, I cannot watch this shit.
You did not.
Yeah,
Do you promise me you left the theater?
I did. Actually, it was at the drive-in, and we were
On our friendship, you promised
Mercedes
you
and I
left?
were like, Hollywood Loomis, we're out of here. You know how in the second one,
Malcolm
we're like,
McDowell.
I barely remember
Where
it.
like he has like a huge ego, and he's like kind of acting like an asshole.
The second one.
We were like, Hollywood Loomis, fuck this. This
The
movie
only-
sucks.
The first one was amazing when the kid.
Oh, it is a black cat. Look it.
Okay, so the end of the movie,
Okay.
it's a black cat on the beach.
So it's also a
Not
shape
even
shifting.
saying- Like they must have filmed this like completely like offset,
Yeah.
different like shooting.
It's to open it up
Dates.
for the second.
Oh, that's right, because it's a black
movie
cat
that never
now.
that. Yeah.
But
right.
I agree that the second Halloween of Rob Zombie was terrible. But I will say there is one good thing that I do like about the second Halloween was his stabbing motions. When he's in the hospital and he stabs the nurses, the way that the force that he uses when he's stabbing them like in the back, that was terrifying because it looks like he was like punching them
Seems
with
real,
a
yeah.
knife, and that would be so fucking painful. And when I was watching it, I was like, this is the only good thing in this fucking movie. So I will give praise to just that. But the rest of it, bullshit. Like all the fucking scenes where, what is that? When he was dreaming or hallucinating and she's like a ghost.
She's like this angel fucking light
Yeah.
shining behind
Fuck
her.
off.
No, the first movie.
The first movie was good, though.
when young Michael Myers beats the shit out of that kid with the big stick.
Yeah.
I couldn't even watch it. I'm not even kidding you. I don't do well
Really?
with child brutality. I don't do well with seeing people getting beat. You can stab someone, shoot someone, I don't care. When someone gets beaten to death, that for me is too much. Being beaten to death is too brutal. So I thought that scene was really good. Here's what I didn't like. Classic Rob Zombie. Bringing rape into the film. Yeah. Let's bring the fucking asylum workers or whatever who bring that girl into Michael Myers' room, which is how he got out, and yada yada.
Yeah.
And they rape her in front of him. In every single Rob Zombie movie, there is fucking rape, and it's like I get it.
there
You're trying to
in-
push the envelope.
Okay, House of a Thousand Corpses.
So much sexuality in that. So
Was
much.
there rape in Salem's?
Lords of Salem?
Lords of
Fuck, who
Salem?
knows, man? I couldn't even get through that movie.
I didn't watch that.
I couldn't
that
get
was
through
bad.
it. I
was
own it.
bad.
Rob Zombie, if you're listening, I own that shit. I couldn't watch it.
I do agree though. Like I will always give anything a chance. I will watch it through, and there are a couple good scenes in Lords of Salem, but then again, it's just like the entire movie in its entirety was not good. It wasn't executed well. Like I feel like he tried to go
Stop
for
casting
like
your wife.
Yeah, I felt like he tried to go for like an artistic avant-garde look,
Yes.
like an
Yes.
appeal, but it didn't. He didn't execute it well. But the part where she comes home to her apartment and turns on the kitchen light and the witch is standing in her sink, that part actually scared me. Like that was
Cool.
scary.
But yes, but I mean, every scene with Sherry Moon in every movie he's ever made has not been good.
No, I know.
Like Devil's Rejects. I mean, the most disturbing scene for me in that movie is, of course, I'm uncomfortable with rape. So it's the scene in the hotel where he's got like the gun up her pussy.
Oh, yeah, that was
and the whole
A lady from Three's Company, nonetheless.
and it was just
Come and
and-
knock
and
on our
the
door.
husband has to watch, and it was completely uncomfortable, and I
Yeah.
hated it. And Sherry Moon has like a very minimal part in that scene. Like she says the Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees.
Yeah.
But I mean, like every
Kind of annoying.
That's so
That
annoying.
childish, like,
I'm so
Yeah,
cute. Like
I know.
every single scene with that
It's not
woman,
working for ya.
tootie fucking fruity.
Yeah, it's
like,
not working
fuck
for ya.
off, man.
No, I know. I don't know. Well, his the newest one, that 31, it did get an R rating stamp.
Really?
So
What is this,
hopefully
31?
It's his new movie that's coming out this year. It's about, like, of course, Sherry Moon is in it, and Bill Moseley is in it, and I think they're like a touring freak show or something, and they
Like,
murder the people that come to the show or
don't
something
know.
like
Oh,
that. It's like
so
a carnival.
House of a
House?
Thousand Corpses or Clown House.
Yeah.
Like, are you recycled
know.
ideas, man?
Well, yeah, I don't know, like he makes good music.
It's
That's
like
great.
he has potential.
Well, yeah, but like,
you know what I mean?
okay,
But
like I'm not gonna lie, like
stop
I
putting
saw,
it like-
He has vision.
Yeah.
He has vision.
well, yeah, and he has like it's stylistic.
So
He
like,
like
what's
he has a
happening?
certain style, and he has like a certain sort of like aesthetic, but I still feel like there isn't much behind it. You know what
No,
I mean?
I know.
I remember when I first watched House of a Thousand Corpses. Like I remember everybody freaking out because of Rap Zombie, and like mind you, I can't say that I'm actually like a fan like of White Zombie or his music.
Oh,
or
I
anything
love
like that.
White Zombie.
But like I just felt like the movie was like he was making it up as he went along.
It felt like a White Zombie video,
Yeah,
like a music video.
an extended music video,
And
and,
then-
there really wasn't much of a plot, and like everything was very borrowed, and like
You nailed it.
I get it.
Everything in his movies is borrowed.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He has all these great visions, and he's like, I'm a horror god, and I'm so warped
But is
and
he, though?
weird.
No, he's
But I
not.
don't think he is. I think
not.
he's a ripoff. I think that he has, all these great ideas, but he can't think of how to make them a reality without taking other people's ideas.
Yeah.
To
He
make
is a really
his
good
ideas
performer.
yeah,
I'll give him
I mean,
Musically,
perhaps
yes.
maybe then he's too much of a fan,
Yeah.
and
Or
not.
I think he might be a bit pretentious. I think he might think that he is this like horror god or this gore god or whatever, and he thinks he's making these movies that are going to change the whole horror genre or whatever.
Mhm.
But then they come out and they're just
They're not that
They're
great.
not
I
that-
know. I like out of all of, okay, I think that out of all the movies that he's done, I always go back to House of a Thousand Corpses, the first one that he did, and I'll watch it
That
now
was a game
just
changer.
because it's like nostalgic, because I liked it at the time that it came out and I have it on DVD, so I'll watch it now just because I'm like, well, I watched it a lot when it first came out and whatever, but like every movie that he has done is kind of a new version of a new Rob Zombie movie,
Yes.
minus Halloween 2, because, Halloween 1 and 2 go hand in hand because they're basically the same. But, like, if you look at House of a Thousand Corpses, it's like a White Zombie music video.
Yeah.
Then you look at Devil's Rejects, and it's like a matured version of
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses. And then you look at Halloween, which is kind of like a step back because it's a remake. But then you look at Lords of Salem, and I remember I was so excited about that one because it was about witches, and then I watched it, and I by myself in my apartment, and I was like, no. I thought like there's one part that actually made me laugh out loud by myself while I was watching Lords of Salem, where she's like sleeping in her bed, and all of a sudden there's like a midget in this weird costume, and it's like it's like the music happens at the same time that the midget like walks up to her bed, and I was like, what the fuck? I just thought it was so fucking funny. But yeah, I'm still like, it doesn't matter like how many movies he makes, like I'm still gonna watch all of them because I want to know, you know what I mean? Like I want to like check them out just to see what they're gonna be like. But I am very interested in seeing 31 just because it got an R-rated rating stamp on it, so hopefully it'll be like really gory.
I was just looking at it. It got 7.9 on IMDb. It got 44 on Rotten Tomatoes. So Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it out?
Hold on now. It says 2016. Initial release January 23rd. That's American, probably though. Hey.
Interesting. So did it not do well? I don't know. I just feel like, you know what, like
January 23rd.
Rob
I guess
Zombie's
it's out.
like learning curve for like movies is like
He's
being
still
put in
learning.
the public,
Yeah.
and that's really hard. Like,
But
I mean,
he
I
does that.
understand-
He does that to himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Like I get it. Like, you know, for instance, like my reference points are like, you know, music and being in a band, and it's like, you know what, you write a bunch of shitty songs before you put your first album out, and you don't usually include those ones in your like final product, and like they've been
Yeah.
reworked a bunch of times. I just feel like
Well, I guess it
He's
worked
still-
for him because he was already successful
Yeah.
as a musician for so long. So
he's
even
definitely
if you
still-
made crappy movies, like they were
May I
still going to
just-
do well.
Morgan, may I just read this to you? It's
Sure.
very short. 5 carnival workers are kidnapped and held hostage in an abandoned hell-like compound. Sound familiar? Where they are forced to participate in a violent game. Sound familiar?
yeah.
the goal of which is to survive 12 hours against a gang of evil clowns. Okay, so I'm gonna break that down. 5 carnival workers are kidnapped, held hostage in an abandoned hell-like compound. Abandoned hell-like compound. Okay, Devil's Rejects.
Yep.
House of 1,000 Corpses. Like,
And that reminds
let's
me
talk
of that
about
movie,
recycled
Funhouse.
Funhouse. Like, let's talk about recycled ideas. And then they participate in a violent game. Saw,
Yeah.
obviously. The goal of which is to survive.
Clown House. We won't talk about Clown House.
I feel like Clown House is literally what this movie is because they have to survive a gang of evil clowns
Well, yeah, I mean, and that actually is pretty much what Clown House
in
is.
a compound. Yada
Except
yada
for all
yada.
the weird other stuff that happens that we shouldn't be talking about on our podcast.
I really
Because that movie is very controversial.
I remember
I'm
when.
just saying,
Well, I remember when they
sounds-
first started like marketing this movie. Everyone thought that it was a movie about John Wayne Gacy, because it was advertised with just the clown mask that he wore. So, and then
That would be a good movie to make.
I think
You want to talk about a good movie to make? Bam.
well, and they did already, but
What?
yeah, there's a Gacy movie. It's just called Gacy. But I think Rob Zombie would do a really good job on a movie about a historic serial killer. Like, I think he should do that.
But here's why I agree with that, because it gives him an outline. He doesn't
Yeah.
have as much creative freedom, because I feel like you give Rob Zombie creative freedom, he gets all artsy-fartsy on that shit and makes it weird.
Yeah, he
Do you know
puts
what I
a
mean?
gang
Yeah.
of clowns in a hell-like compound.
Well, I'd like to read a review on Amazon for Uninvited. And this is from a man or woman named Bundy.
Ooh, really? Like
So
Ted?
Yeah, so they wrote this review in 2013. This is word for word. Movie wasn't that bad for low budget. You could tell that sometimes the boat was a toy boat in the bathtub and the evil cat didn't look right. 2 cute girls in it, some bad actors too. They went overboard with the meowing effect. The real cat's mouth would be closed, yet you hear it meow. I'd watch it again. I didn't understand the different colored cat at the end on the beach, though. At least watch it to see the guy dancing with his hands in his pocket. He definitely didn't like dancing. It funny.
It funny!
Thanks, Bundy.
Yeah, it funny. So that actually sums up that movie pretty much. It funny.
It funny. But you know what? I'm surprised, guys, in this entire movie, they didn't drop the line, "cat's out of the bag."
I know, right?
Why wasn't that in the movie?
Honestly, there are so many cat puns.
That's an evil pussy.
Like, come on! Why
Cat's out of the
wasn't
bag, yeah.
"cat's out of the bag"? Why wasn't that in the movie?
Oh my
Perfect opportunity.
They really fucked that one up.
Hey, thanks, guys.
So yeah, I
For
guess
listening.
episode 2, Witch Finger, signing off.
Thanks for listening
drink
and
some more
following.
wine. Yeah,
And,
and
let's-
give
let's
us
drink
your
some more
hate mail
wine.
if you really love Rob Zombie like a lot.
I know, fuck no shit, eh?
Tell us your thoughts. Tell us your thoughts about Uninvited, and also let us know what you think about, our ideas about, The Witch. If you've seen it, we want to know. Interaction, man.
Comment.
It's all good.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram.
Hell.
Hell. Find us in hell.
Find us in
Fire.
hell. The Daughters of Satan. That's right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.